Right, so we're back again. So today in the Red Room, we'll talk about an accelerator. So this is a process and fundamental steps that I follow day to day that helps me get stuff done. Because at the end of the day, without a structure or a system or a routine, it's really difficult to schedule and plan your day and keep things on track, especially if you're in business and you've got multiple staff, projects, clients, things that need to get done on time. It's going to be a struggle. So let me tell you about my accelerator and effectively how I've structured it, and I'll share my notes across with you guys and see how you can factor it into your day to day. So ultimately, there's two factors, right? There's accountability and scheduling. So let's go over that again. Accountability and scheduling. So with accountability, the only person you can only be accountable to is yourself. You can't have the mindset of, I'm going to be accountable to, the cat, the dog, the girlfriend, whatever. Like, the bottom line is, as a man, you're running the show, you're running the shop, you've got to be accountable to yourself. So the best way you can do that is by saying what you mean and meaning what you say, and having conviction, having purpose, so that when you're actually going about your day to day, you're actually getting stuff done. And at the end of the day, you can look in the mirror and say, like, right, I've given this 100%, and I can sleep knowing that I controlled my controllables, and the rest is out of my hand. So accountability, right? You've got to be accountable to yourself, and you've got to make it happen. And what's going to help with this is scheduling, so structuring a day. So powerful. I'm telling you now, days that I fall out of my structure or don't follow a structure, it's a complete write off, it's a complete car crash. And it's the simple things, right, in terms of investing a little bit of extra time in planning your day makes a massive difference, believe me. And let me talk to you about how I've structured my day, factoring what I'm accountable to, things I'm accountable to myself in terms of my personal development, my staff, my team, my business partners, etc. And from there, how can I schedule and structure everything in my day, prioritize what's important, and keep everything in balance, in check, because we're getting a lot done, right? So again, for me, right, like I mentioned, for myself, I like to start the day, black coffee, tobacco, balcony, look in the sky, clear my head, map out my day. I'm not one of those meditation types of people, and that's not for me. I know I see a lot of it on YouTube in terms of clearing the mind and stuff like that. The reality is we're very digitized with mobile phones, computers, Apple watches. For me, it doesn't make sense. I can just click my fingers and focus, and that's enough. I don't need to be in a trance or listen to hymns. But again, if it works for you, so be it. But for me, I allow myself 20 minutes, coffee, smoke, check the temperature, get a feel of what's what, let my head soothe down and just open and clear itself, and then start to plan and roadmap my day. And again, whatever that looks like to you, have a look at that as well. Media fasting is absolutely so important, and that comes in the form of your email, social media, news, blogs, whatever, business reports. There's a lot of different aspects. But ultimately, if you're one of those people that are constantly on your phone and you're currently, checking for your emails, looking for notifications, you're going to go mad and you're not going to be able to think. And ultimately, the bottom line is you need to be in flow state. If your brain is constantly ticking and looking for the next sort of stimulation point, you're not going to be in the right headspace to focus and get stuff done. If you're constantly checking for emails, your phone pings, like, I don't know how people can work like that. It doesn't make any sense. Dedicate time. So for me, what I say is to obviously overcome this problem, I allow myself 2 times a day, AM, in the PM, just look at my inbox, give myself half an hour, let's just say for argument's sake, 9:30, in the morning, I'll look at my emails from 9:30 to 10. I'll get them actioned. There might be one email, there might be two emails, there might be 100 emails, there might be no emails. Irrespective, half an hour is the spot. Whether that leaves me with idle time, that's fine. If I need to carry it over, that's fine. But I stay within that parameter, get stuff done within that time block, and then again in the afternoon after lunch. Typically, that's when you'll get emails come through. For me, anyway, 2 p.m. till 2:30. Again, checking my inboxes, all my different projects that I have, what's come in, what's come out, what's urgent. Right, dedicate this time, fire things back, delegate it across if needs be, and to go from there. So that's how you can manage your inbox. Simple yet effective. Right, what's next? Mainstream media. So this is the biggest killer of them all. And looking back, I don't know how people can spend their weekends, evenings watching the likes of Britain's Got Talent, and I don't even know what else comes on TV these days. Nevertheless, mainstream media, right? So in other words, the news, limit yourself to just 10 minutes once a day, and even still use it more of a radio. Mainstream media is pure pollution for the mind. It's full of negativity, propaganda, and it just creates scarcity. And what's interesting is, I was talking to someone about this the other day. There's no happy hour element within the news, and what I mean by that is, look at Sky News. It runs 24 hours a day, and it's all negative. It's all destructive. There's no time allocation to talk about, right, these are the successes in the world, these are the accomplishments, these are the wins, this is news to celebrate and champion. There's none of that. But that's just typically how mainstream media is. And as long as you don't get warped into that and you can see things for what they are, then that's fine. But again, ultimately, it's programming and social conditioning. So, for example, with the current war situation, right, if you're constantly being pushed against a certain way or a certain agenda, then over time, that subconsciously will start to take over your mind and influence you indirectly. So for me, you need to know what's going on in the world, but you can find that out in 10 minutes. Bang on Sky News or whatever news provider, Al Jazeera, wherever you are in the world, just something half, reputable, because they all are what they are, but just a high level, so right. So for me, 2:30, having a quick coffee, right, bang on the news, what's important, what's happening in the economy, share prices impacted, whatever, high level stuff that's important, cool. That is absolute top end, and then you can move on. Social media, right? Social media should be limited to 0. You do not have time to be on social media. Social media is a free form of entertainment, right? And anything that's free, you're the customer. We should all know that by now. And unless you have a business or you are a business on social, I don't understand why people can spend hours looking at cats or just nonsense in general. And again, it's just brain numbing and searching for other people. What's this guy doing? What's she doing? And what do they call it? Form of stalking, really, isn't it? People are more interested in other people, right, and how they live their life. And people who dedicate so much time on social media are interested in portraying a life that's not even real. So it's so funny in the fact that people are so interested in what other people are doing and what other people are showcasing is not even how they really live. So that's another story for another day. But for me, social media, none. If you do this for business, like I said, you can stay checked in and you can post once a week, whatever that looks like for your business. But ultimately, hire someone from Fiverr or LinkedIn and just get them to run your account and train them up so you don't have to see or visualize. For 1 minute, I wouldn't spend on YouTube looking at the comments, the views, the subscribers. I don't care. That's not the type of stats that I'm interested at the moment. For me, I'm just delivering content. I'll fire it across to an editor. They'll deal with the account. So that's my perspective. Social media, 0. Get out in the real world. There's plenty of things you can see in the flesh, whether that be sites, restaurants, women, whatever. You can see that in the real world. Social media is pure poison, so stay away. Right, what's next? What you should do is, podcasts are really powerful, or even like what I'm doing in terms of just giving you a very frank insight and overview of the challenges in business and how to sort of navigate and have a successful process, and learn through mistakes and different principles that are going to help you become the better version of yourself. Of course, there's loads of people that you can listen to. I'm not going to rattle off names and say, listen to this guy, listen to him, listen to her. Whatever's in your space that makes sense to you, that's good, solid information, impartial, unbiased. Check it out, 30 minutes a day. You want to learn every day, right? You want to be tuned in. And again, it's part of your day you're spending on yourself in a topic or a theme. And again, keep this geared around business. So I'm not saying listen to a podcast about Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. I'm saying if you're in the Forex space, you might find or come across a podcast that talks about the developments, trading strategies, risk management, checking in to see what's going on, see what other perspectives are, and see how you can learn, right? So again, save yourself 30 minutes. And again, if you think about it, people spend hours in front of a TV watching Netflix and all that garbage. Spending half an hour, right, on a podcast that's going to serve you is absolutely going to help you with your development as well. And also, with it being a podcast, you can bang some headphones in, go for a walk, run around, do some other errands, and obviously you're good to go from there. Right, and then again for me, I typically will do this. I'd like to listen to like business, lifestyle, finance, but typically I'll do it when I'm at the gym. So whether that be first thing in the morning, whether that be in the afternoon, that works for me. Right, moving on then. So in terms of your business report, you only need to allocate 20 minutes. Whenever your day ends, so in my case, circa 10, 11 p.m., spend 20 minutes, go over your numbers, your KPIs, your metrics, see what's what, see different areas of growth, and see what's happening in your business. You should know at the end of every day where you are versus where you want it to be, and get those reports out, get into the numbers, and then get yourself in a position so that going into the next day how you can improve. Right, again, I'm not going to talk about goal setting because that's tedious, and if you don't have to set goals, then I can't help you. We talked about accountability, we talked about next steps. What else? Let's talk about lifestyle in terms of diet. I'll give you a high level overview here, but ultimately, if you want to be like ripped, if you want to be strong, and when I say ripped, I don't mean bodybuilder ripped, where you've got stretchy skin. I mean, if you want to look good, if you want to look like an athlete or a Hollywood actor, for me, if you want to look good in a shirt and out of a shirt, like I do with relatively low maintenance, these are some very simple fundamentals that I follow, right? For me, I go sugar-free. Sugar-free means sugar-free. That takes away 99% of problems in diets, right? Keep it sugar-free. Where possible, keep things gluten-free, especially if you've got a gluten intolerance or a wheat intolerance as well. That's also poison for the body. I adopt intermittent fasting, so I eat anywhere between 2 p.m. to 8 p.m, either once or twice a day. Really good for your body, good for longevity, good for your natural hormones, growth hormones, etc. Your body repairs, it heals, it learns to be lean, it learns to utilize the resources within itself to be more efficient. And I look better now, right, eating 1 or 2 meals a day, and I'm stronger now than I was back in the day, going the typical bodybuilding diet, eating 6-7 times, which looking back, I don't even know how I had the time. I can't even fathom how much was spent, and what a complete waste of time that was. But again, I'm telling you, so you can save money, because you absolutely will, and you can progress in business, and you'll look good. So you can thank me later for that. So intermittent fasting or 1 meal a day, and I'm not going to get into the science and pull up articles and stuff like that. the bottom line is your body will adapt. Okay, when you get smart asses online trying to tell you things like you need X amount of calories and you're nutrient deficient, blah 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 blah. People, right, live off McDonald's and they'll live to 70, 80. They might not be the healthiest internally, but that doesn't mean they're gonna die, right? What else? Some people will drink a liter of vodka every night. It's not the most healthiest thing to do, but they can still die in their 80s, 90s, 100s. We know people like that. There's people on the streets, right? Bottom of the barrel, right? They're on class A, and nutrition wise, they'll be having virtually nothing, right? Scraps, right? They'll get an odd sandwich from, a Good Samaritan and whatever else. They'll eat pure trash. And again, their function. This is extremes we're talking about, of course, but the point I'm trying to make is your body will adapt. Okay, so for me, it was just the idea that I actually thought I was hungry, but I wasn't actually hungry. I was just used to it. It's a habit, isn't it? Your mind's used to eating and drinking, especially when you do it so routinely. It's almost like smoking as well. The addiction in smoking is not the actual smoke; it's the actual physical lighting the cigarette, the hand action, etc., and puffing away. There's a study that with blind people, their addiction rates skyrocketed down because that sort of hand-eye coordination action that'd be associated with common practice smoking just wasn't there. But again, just to keep things simple, your body will adapt. And for me, outside of a black coffee, I don't understand how it's possible to start a day eating first thing. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense unless you're selling food and you want people to buy your food all day, every day. Then of course it does. I wonder if there's anyone we know who wants that. But yeah, nevertheless, 1 to 2 meals a day. It's really healthy. It's good for longevity. It's good for body composition. And guess what? You're more mindful about what you eat. Because when you have these restrictions, you don't then just stick your hand in the cupboard and go all out. You're mindful and you think, right, okay, I'll have 1 or 2 meals. Let's make it count. And you absolutely will. And you'll have so much more time to get stuff done. You're not going to be in those queues for breakfast, for lunch, etc. You're just going to be straight in and getting what you're getting. So on the back of that, then intermittent fasting or having like a 4-hour eating window or even a meal a day. Only eat if you're actually hungry. And 9 times out of 10, when you think you're hungry, you're actually not. You're actually thirsty. So common sense, 2 to 4 liters of water a day, and your hunger will soon subside. Conscious eating. So whether you're, vegetarian, meat eater, I'm not going to go into that topic today, but just be conscious with your eating. So for example, if you are going to go down the, animal diet route, then think about, organic, free range, better quality rather than, your processed types of food. If you are going to go vegetarian, vegan, make sure, or plant-based, make sure that you're getting enough nutrients. And again, we're not like overcomplicating things, we're just using common sense. Like you can be out of shape as a meat eater, you can be in shape as a meat eater, the same way as vegetarian or plant-based or vegan, you could be in and out of shape regardless. So it's not about that, it's just about being conscious and just, common sense. A lot of vegetarians or vegans, for example, will eat a lot of meat substitutes, which doesn't make any sense to me. And 9 times out of 10, they're probably worse than the actual animal products. But with that being said, with animal products being so mass produced, the quality is piss poor. So just be conscious and mindful of what you're eating, and whichever way you decide to go, make that best decision. So when you eat well, right, you'll feel good. When you feel good, you can make good decisions. Your brain's sharp. If you're loaded on sugars and high carbs and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to focus and you're going to look crap, right? Whereas if you look the part, physically, mentally, you presented well, then you become the full package. So it's all coming full circle in that regard. Let's talk about movement and getting physical, right? it's imperative to start your day by physically moving. I don't understand how it's possible we get these gamers, with their living off Monster Energy and constantly playing. I don't even know what it is. Some BS games on their PC. First thing in the morning, late hours and late into the night. I do not know how that's possible, but what I do know is that you need to start your day by moving. Get up, in my case, have a coffee, brainstorm my day on the balcony, right, go for a run, 5 kilometers. If you got a gym, got a treadmill, got a bike, get moving. 30 minutes is all it needs, and you're just going to get your happy hormones in your mind ticking and tingling and getting you sort of fired up, and that's all it needs to be. Also, strength training, right? So if you want to look good, you're going to be lean from your diet and running around having low sort of calories. I say low calories, you can have maintenance calories, what you actually need. You're not going over the top. But strength training 5 times a week, 7 times a week. Keep it in a state of flow. Keep it moderate. You don't need to be fully exerted by the end of every set. You want to be fast, right? 10 reps, 100 kilos, bang. 30 seconds on the bench press, 105, bang. And so on and so forth. So limit your rest breaks and you can get that done in 30 minutes. Easy. Right, so we talked about movement, talked about diet, talked about strength, talked about cardio. And again, let's talk about relationships. So do invest time in people that are going to be good to you and they're going to serve you, whether that be in your professional, your personal endeavors. Do invest in good people. If you've got a good set of people around you, or a good network, or a good mentor, do value and service that relationship, and don't take these types of relationships for granted. And at the same time, purge bad relationships. So I talked about this in the last video. By now, you should have already gone for your phone, hit through your contact list, and look at the person that either serve you, right, either positive or negative, and it's no in between. Is this person a positive energy in my life, or are they negative? It's as simple as that. Block, delete, and believe me, your life will drastically change. Right. What else? In terms of planning, depending on your age and where you are and things like that, do invest in, mentorships, coaching. It could be programs, it could be directly with people, just so that you can actually, look ahead and get some experience from people who've been in that space. Again, we're not talking, people who lived 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and how they ran their business and things like that. Not everything's transferable, but some things are, like the fundamentals usually are. So people who understand your space, your industry, and they can serve you and sort of help, navigate and plan your next sort of 3, 5, 10 steps. These are the conversations you should be having. So by now, you should have cut out 90% of the bullshit and be focused on having a winning future. And that's the best way you can plan. Again, this is just a few of the bits from myself, what I do. I'm old school, pen and paper, get your important tasks written down, put the phone down, and just follow up, make connections, and always look to add value. So when you're in society where you can sort of contribute and add value, that's where you're going to be appreciated. That's where you're going to thrive. If you're in a situation where all you're going to do is be negative and moan and talk about other people, you're just a poisonous individual. And the reality is, no one likes to drink poison. So why should you? You shouldn't, right? So with that being said, think about what I've said. If, for example, some of these points have gone over your head, or just go back, press pause, make some notes, structure it, see what's what, and we can go from there. But what should be happening now is day by day, if you are following the advice and the structure and the plan that I'm giving you, you absolutely should be seeing positive changes in a short period of time, because Life is simple, right? Idiots make it complicated. Same goes with business. Follow these steps and you will absolutely, categorically reap the rewards. So, by all means, look through it again, chop it up, make notes, plan this. I guarantee you, you already know this, that your life will be better, your business will thrive, you'll be in a better headspace, you'll have better relationships, you'll be attracting better energy, and you'll be getting all the fruits of the labour. Right, I'm going to check out for now. I've got a few of the bits to do. We'll check in maybe tomorrow and we'll go from there.